What's up, Reef Fanatics? In today's episode, we are talking about 10 Halloween-themed sea creatures for your reef aquarium. And as always, I'm joined by Levi Peterson. How's it going, Levi?
What's going on?
So, it's Halloween, man. What do you think? The year is flying by. It's already Halloween.
I'm excited. It's crazy. It's like, I feel like 2024 just started, and now we're getting ready to wrap it up here soon in the next couple months. So
there's some people that have Halloween-themed fish tanks. That may be a podcast for next year's Halloween. But today we're talking about 10 Halloween-themed sea creatures for your reef aquarium, or just awkward sea creatures that are very much could have their own Halloween movie or something.
absolutely.
So let's jump right into the first one. We have the Batfish. What do you think about this guy?
So I love Batfish, especially like when they're in the juvenile stage. They're gorgeous, and the way they swim is just phenomenal. Unfortunately, they get like super huge. So like mainly this is gonna be like a fish for someone that has a ginormous aquarium, where they're able to like eventually school up with some others. But they're probably one of the most unique and pretty fish when they're young, like by far. Just the way they swim and the way they look, they're just such a beautiful fish. I've always wanted to have one, but I've never pulled the trigger because, like I said, they just need such a big tank down the road. So, but yeah, they're beautiful and they're unique for sure.
Yeah, and I instantly think Halloween when I look at this. You got the
For
nice
sure.
orange and black. It's just a very unique fish with how long the fins are. Like,
Yep.
It's a very beautiful fish too, to your point. But I mean, water conditions for this tank, if you do have a large enough tank for it, you're looking at 180 gallons plus, because they do get large. But you know, the saltwater range pH between 8.1, 8.4, salinity 1.023 to 0.25, your temperature 78 degrees and stuff. So pretty much the standard parameters that you hear about whenever you're keeping a saltwater tank. But yeah, this guy definitely says Halloween whenever you look
For
at it.
sure.
And the next fish, these guys are unique.
Yes.
And
So
you've
these-
actually, you've cared for these guys.
I've had these before,
Yeah.
yes. I've had these. They're really unique, really cool. They have special care requirements. Obviously, they're like darker water. A lot of the time, you're going to find these in like caves and in the reefs and stuff over in the Indo-Pacific. And we do even have a species here in Florida off the coast in the Atlantic. But yeah, they're super cool. They're unique. And like the coolest thing about them, especially if you have like a nice cool NPS tank, is if the lights dim or even off, when these guys are feeding, they use that bioluminescence under their eye to, find prey and attract prey and just swim around and see what they're doing. So super cool. These are by far probably one of my most favorite fish that I've ever like seen or even actually had a chance to keep. And I definitely like to keep them again down the road. They're super fun, super cool. But they are very demanding fish. They do like to eat a lot, and they have a super high metabolism, so you got to keep that in mind. So it definitely takes a specific person to take care of this, but for the Halloween season, this is a really unique fish that definitely would catch my eye as like a Halloween-themed fish.
Yeah, absolutely. So whenever you were keeping, what's some of the like tank requirements? Like how big of a tank? How cold should the water be and stuff like that?
Yeah, so I think with these guys, personally, I would say probably I like to keep them in schools at minimum of at least 3 per tank because they usually almost always are found in large schools. So you want to try to keep them together. They do a little better that way. But I would probably say a minimum of like 45 for 3 of them on up, and that's just bare minimum. I actually had them in this tank right behind me that we're kind of looking at right here. There's 3 in there. They did really well. The other care requirement is like I couldn't really get them off of live ghost shrimp. I was feeding them live small little ghost shrimp, which they did really good on. So I've heard of some people being able to wean them off onto like some other more meaty foods like LRS. But other than that, I mean, they're really not too hard. I mean, when you mentioned the water temperature, a lot of, like I said, these are actually found on many of the reefs, just in like caves, kind of like specific cardinal fish and other sorts of organisms like that. So I mean, as long as you're keeping them at tropical to even maybe a little lower than tropical temperatures, you should be totally fine with these guys.
Gotcha. Yeah, such a unique fish. I mean, with the way they glow
Absolutely.
like that. Very cool. Number 3 on our list for Halloween themed fish or sea creatures would be the Halloween sea urchin, Halloween tuxedo urchin. Um, this guy is a tuxedo urchin that is just got the orange going on in him. So he looks like a little pumpkin moving around your tank. Reminds me of a little pumpkin. So, I mean, these guys are great for eating algae off of your glass, off of your rock. I've been using sea urchins now for a few months or so, probably a little bit longer than that, trying to get that green hair algae under control. And these guys are a great member of the cleanup crew. Thoughts on urchins?
I love urchins. I mean, there's certain urchins that I stay away from, but I mean, these specific ones are reef safe. They're beautiful.
And they're smaller.
They're smaller too. Yeah, exactly. The only downside that I don't like about many urchins is that sometimes they can pick up frags and carry up. That's like the only downside to urchins, in my opinion, because I love an urchin in every tank. I have an urchin in every single tank in my house. But like, especially if you have like super expensive frags, lying around and they pick them up and you lose it or something, that would be unfortunate. That's the only downside that I could think of to urchins, other than just kind of knocking things over here and there. But they do a really good job at cleaning up some algae.
Yeah, they do. And to our point for Halloween themed sea animals, this guy is decorating himself, right? Picking things up. So he's kind of putting on that costume. So
every day.
He's probably, I don't know, maybe the number one for being.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I've even actually seen people put like 3D printed like designs, like hats and different kind of things like that.
Yeah, super cool. Yeah, I've grown to love sea urchins. I think I have like 6 in the tank.
Yeah, I love sea urchins. They're beautiful. There's so many different ones to choose from too.
They're great. But one of my favorite Halloween themed animals that you can't get away from, and is one of the number one or one of the best cleanup crew members that you can have, in my opinion, is the Halloween hermit crab. I mean, look at his colors, the vibrant oranges, the striped patterns on his legs and his claws. This guy definitely reads Halloween.
Absolutely. They're gorgeous. They're super cool. They're reef safe. They're pretty mellow too. I mean, they don't really mess with much of anything. They just kind of, usually they're on the sand bed kind of crawling around, maybe working up on your rock work a little bit. But these guys will eat algae and just random detritus and debris that kind of gets to the bottom of the tank.
Yep.
And they're gorgeous. They're actually cool looking. You can actually see them. A lot of times they're out in the front. I got one right here that I'm looking at. Like, they kind of tend to kind of be right out in front, kind of walking around. You can see them most of the time. So they're pretty cool. I like these guys.
Yeah, they're on the larger sides, so you'll be able to see them.
Exactly.
I mean, of course, they're hermit crabs, so you're going to have some empty shells in there for them to move around in. But they do pretty well in majority, if not like any saltwater environment in our reef aquarium hobby. So they do really well. Great members of the cleanup crew. And the red banding, the orange banding going across this guy, definitely one of the best contenders for our Halloween themed sea animals.
Absolutely.
So let us know in the comments below, out of all of these animals, rank them for us 1 through 10, how you think we did, or how you feel the best sea animals are from 1 to 10 in the comments below. But right now, the Halloween sea urchin has the number 1 spot for me, just because it decorates itself and carries things around. So, but we'll see where that goes. Hey Levi, have you heard of Printed Reef?
I have.
You have? Well, Printed Reef has the brand new Frag Lock Frag Rack. Now this guy is pretty unique because it's magnetic, so you can adhere it to your tank just fine. And this one is the 5x4 frag rack that slides right out, and you can have it at an angle, or you can slide it in and have it sticking straight out. So your
Nice.
preference is a great frag rack because your frags actually lock in due to the 3D printed design here on the inside. So your coral frags are not going to fall out with the frag lock frag rack. So
Nice.
go ahead, pick that up today at printedreef.com/TheCoralReefTalk. You can save 10%. Use the code TheCoralReefTalk at checkout. And that's the frag lock frag rack.
Nice.
All right, so now let's take a look at the next animal up in our Halloween theme, and that is this guy right here, the barrel eye fish.
Yeah, so when Joey told me we're trying to find some fish, Halloween themed that are kind of, weird, creepy, and just different, I immediately thought of this fish. It's not obviously seen in the aquarium trade, but that doesn't mean it's not Halloween type themed, okay? So this guy's super cool. It's called the barrel eye fish. It's a deep water fish. And as you can see, it literally, it has a see-through head, which I think is the weirdest, creepiest thing ever.
That's insane.
And I still can't even wrap my head around it, just seeing it, but it's pretty crazy. And there's so many other just deep water stuff that we just don't even know. It's just super cool to see this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at it right now, and I'm trying to, are those green things its eyes, or are the eyes in the front? Because the way it, looks on this picture, I don't know. That's really strange.
Yeah, that is strange. There is a video on the Monterey Bay Aquarium site. Maybe we can throw that up and take a look at it.
Because I'm looking at the picture now, and I'm like, wait a second here.
Yeah, let me see if I can share that screen. Yeah, because while you were talking, I was digging here. It says that it's really small, only like 6 inches. So here's the video. Let me get rid of the audio.
Man.
But yeah, that's so odd.
That is so weird.
Yeah, I mean, I think as far as if you're thinking about Halloween and getting dressed up to go trick-or-treating, I'm still sticking with the sea urchin. But as far as weird, creepy Halloween theme, this guy has to be up there too on the list. And yeah, that is really weird. Where are the eyes? What I still don't understand. I still don't get it looking at it. Is that the brain on the inside?
Yeah, I don't know. It's something else.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's some kind of dialogue going on that, but yeah, that's
crazy.
That's really cool. But yeah, like you said, it's a deep sea creature, range from 2,000 to 2,600 feet in the northeastern Pacific Ocean. Yeah, it's just a crazy, crazy fish. I mean, that's why you're the oddball reefer, right? Bringing in these odd fish, not only at your tanks at home, but here on the podcast too, man. That's great. That's up there for the #1 spot. Reef fanatics in the comments, you guys better be letting us know what you think. What takes the #1 spot? Yeah, but the barrel eye fish, that thing is crazy. I mean, it looks like it's got 2 eyes in the front on this picture.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I was like, wait a second here. Yeah, I don't know. It's super weird.
But a really cool fish that has a few different names, and is a fish that you can have in your aquarium at home if you have a large enough tank, is the vampire tang. Now, the vampire tang also goes by the lieutenant tang. It's semi-aggressive as far as its temperament, and it can max out at around 10 inches, I believe. I think it gets its name from the 2 markings right there behind the eye, kind of like a vampire, like the fangs. The vampire got to it. So that's pretty cool. So if you're thinking of trick-or-treating in a costume, or just vampires in general, people like vampire movies, why not the vampire tank? But yeah, man, this is another tank. It's a tank, so you have to have a large tank, right? So you're looking at 100 some odd gallons, 180 gallons for this guy. The Florida Aquarium has a beautiful reef tank upstairs. Have you been? You've been there. You've seen it. And they have a vampire tang swimming in there as well. So, what do you think about this as far as making the Halloween list?
It's definitely up there. They're really cool. I mean, it's a Tang that we were able to bring to the table today. And we actually get these in quite a bit at work, and they may kind of look a little more like, not as appealing to the eye, but they're beautiful fish. Like, it may not be as colorful as some Tangs you can get your hands on, but they are relatively on the cheaper end, and they do a great work in the tank. So, I mean, hey, it's something different. They look cool. And in the right picture here, you can see like the blue on the tail. They're a really pretty fish. They look really cool. So,
yeah, it's a super cool fish, and the fang marks in there.
Yep,
giving it the name Vampire Tang. All right, Levi. So we're moving on to the scientific segment, and we've looked at some strange fish. We looked at Halloween themed fish. I'm sure you got something special for us for the scientific segment. What do you got for us?
Bring it on. Let's see what we got here. So yes, the wart skin frogfish. And I'm bringing this to the table today simply because, frogfish come in many different colors, kind of like different costumes. You're going to see a lot of different costumes here coming up to this Halloween time. And frogfish specifically, they're always changing colors, and there's multiple different camouflages and different types of frogfish that look differently. Sargassum frogfish, hairy frogfish. You got frogfish that look like, seaweed. You got frogfish that look like sponges. You got frogfish that look like coral. So there's this is one of the main reasons why I brought it to the table today, because I mean, they're good at camouflage. They look very strange. They're a weird fish. And there is literally hundreds of different varieties, if not thousands. Like, no frogfish that we get in at work or I've ever seen in my lifetime has ever been near the same. They may have similar markings, but they're never the same. So it's super cool just knowing that. And I love getting them in because, like I said, you never know what you're going to get. They're always different colors, different shapes, different types. So super cool, and definitely glad to bring it to the table today to kind of share.
Yeah, this guy's awesome. The colorations on this photo right here is really cool. But yeah, it's always fun watching these guys kind of walk around the tank.
Yep.
Moving kind of slow and creepy like. So this guy fits the Halloween theme for sure. Now, here we go. That's right. So, moving right along into more Halloween themed stuff, I figured we would bring some fish. I figured we would bring some inverts and some cleanup crew stuff. But what about corals? What about corals? Are there any corals that are Halloween theme, or do you just consider all corals to be kind of in that Halloween theme? One that stuck out to me, though, would be the bleeding apple scalemia coral. And this is a photo from Worldwide Corals. But you're thinking Halloween time, you're thinking candy, you're thinking candy apples, bleeding stuff, bleeding apple scully. That's what I brought to the table today. So this is a really cool coral. I finally got my first ever scully coral in the tank, and he's been in there since Reefapalooza. Knock on wood. Everything's still going well with him.
Sweet.
So really cool coral, pretty moderate care level, I think I would say so far. And they're really cool to feeding these guys. Watch them open up, consume the food, and close back up is really awesome.
Absolutely.
To watch. But yeah, I figured I'd bring a coral to the Halloween show.
That makes me think of another coral that's named after something that's Halloween themed. That'd be like the jack-o'-lantern leptocerus.
Oh yes, the jack-o'-lantern lepto. Yeah,
really cool.
Yeah, that was one of my first ever leptos in the tank. Was that because of the way it looks? Reminds me of the Halloween hermit crab, and it's just really cool. And all right, so I think we have one more, or well, we have two more to go to reach 10 Halloween themed sea creatures. But I put them both on the same slide because I'm talking about the zombie clownfish and the phantom clownfish. Now, there's many variety of clownfish out there. These are Ocellaris clownfish with some Halloween themed name. You got the black and white one over there. It's the phantom clownfish, and then the zombie one on the left from ORA. So they're pretty easy to care for. They're omnivores. 10 inch or 10 gallons or more you can keep clownfish in. They're really peaceful. They're easy to care for. Have you heard of these guys before? Heard of the zombie clownfish?
I have. Yeah, they're really cool.
Yeah, they seem to be a very, according to this website, the zombie clownfish is actually a very popular fish, and it will, of course, get along with other clownfish in the same aquarium. So, of course, they're clownfish. They're going to accept many different types of anemones. So, just having that pair in the tank is really cool, and we've talked about those on the pod plenty of times. So I'll leave a link to the description where we talked about common pairs or sea animals that work together in the aquarium, like a clownfish and an anemone. But yeah, I figured I'd bring in zombie clownfish and phantom clownfish.
Yes.
There's also like the all white clownfish, so you get like a ghost clownfish.
Yeah, those are cool.
Those are super cool. But yeah, those are our 10 Halloween themed sea creatures. Let us know in the comments what you think about them and rank them for us. Let us know which one takes the number one spot and which one takes the 10 spot for being the least Halloween themed. But yeah, are you excited to go? Do you go trick or treating still?
I do not. No, I usually stick to the trunk or treats.
Okay. So my neighborhood's pretty big on trick or treating, and we have kids, so we take them trick or treating. And I think this year my son is gonna dress up like Master Chief from Halo.
Nice.
So it should be a lot of fun.
Nice. Sweet.
He's trying to get in here. But yeah, I'm excited for Halloween. I mean, it's finally we're gonna have a break from being hit after like all those hurricanes.
Yeah.
It's gonna be nice to be able
rough.
to get back out and go trick or treating. Our properties did not fare well. We have a rental property that just got flooded, man, with sewage water and flooded the entire house. So we had to rip out drywall. I was over there the whole entire week after ripping things out. And so it's in much needed repair to get it back into livable conditions. So if any of you reef fanatics want to support that to help us rebuild, you can find the link in the description below. And then at the podcast studio here at our home, we had water come in through the walls in our master bedroom, in the office here. So it was just coming in those areas. Also our master bathroom, water coming in through the windows. So it was crazy, man. Our garage had just water cascading down the wall. So there's a lot of damage here at the Coral Reef Talk that we are working through, trying to recover from and rebuild. So like I said, if anyone wants to help with donations, we would very much appreciate that. And we thank you so much in advance. We'll put the link right up here and leave it in the description below.
For sure.
Today, actually, we just went over there and brought some drywall from Lowe's so that we can start the recovery phase or the rebuilding phase. So it's a process, it's progress, but wanted to share that update that we have received some donations, and that's helping us to at least get started, with repairs and stuff over there between the properties. So But yeah, other than that, I think things were doing pretty good.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, I think we lost power here for like almost a week, I want to say.
Yeah. Okay.
Thankfully, my friend let me borrow the generator. They got power back like the next day. So he let me borrow the generator. But I don't know. I lost all the fish in the Caribbean tank like overnight.
Oh no.
I think I know what happened though, because that tank has like all the gorgonians and like a bunch of different sponges and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's just like the fact that it lost power through the night, because I already had the small generator to run the tank at least in the fridge and freezer.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm not going to walk out there in the middle of the hurricane and get that generator going. So I'm like, I'm just going to start it in the morning. I got the bubblers going in the tanks and stuff just to get some circulation. But I don't know if it was just the stagnicity of the water and like the sponges or gorgonians just kind of leaching off some stuff into the water column, just, toxifying the water or something. Because just the fish died. All like the corals and inverts are all totally fine.
Okay.
It is really unfortunate, but I was battling a little bit of ick too. So as of right now, since the hurricane, I have not put another fish in there. I think I'm going to wait 8 to 10 weeks just to let that ick hopefully just completely eradicate itself.
Yeah.
Because I was even quarantining them and stuff, but I feel like that ick was already in the system, even though I did all the quarantining. So the fish are still getting it. So I'm just going to let that tank pretty much sit without fish until I get back from probably Christmas.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
But yeah, I mean, we had a bunch of trees and big branches down in the yard, but thankfully none fell on the house. So
yeah, that's good. I was gonna say there's quite a bit of trees over there by you.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
That's good. Yeah, at the end of the main road next to our neighborhood, there was a huge tree that came down.
Really?
But it didn't land on any houses, but it was pretty massive.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, over here as far as the tank, we had a generator as well, so we just kept a pump going for water circulation. We were without power at over here for like, I think it was 4 days. But like, yeah, so we lost power, and I guess I did the crazy thing of going outside and hooking the generator up right away.
Yeah.
It felt like someone was standing next to me with a 5-gallon bucket and just tossing it on me.
Jeez.
Like, because of the wind and everything.
So much rain during Milton, it wasn't even funny.
Yeah, Milton was insane. But yeah, the fish in our tank actually are doing okay.
That's good.
I have noticed that we are losing some corals. We are losing the Space Invader Pectinia coral. Some of the monoporas aren't doing too well. I mean, they didn't have light for like 4 days, which is okay. 3 to 5 days, I believe. Blackout period is fine. So there's other things going on, but yeah, the tank, other than those few corals, no fish loss. And then some of the other corals are looking better than ever. Sweet. And the green hair algae is pretty much disappearing, receding, and the rocks are looking good again. Yeah.
Awesome. Good to hear.
So that's an up and up. That's a win, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. All right. With that said, we want to thank you guys for tuning into this episode of the Coral Reef Talk podcast. We hope everyone has a wonderful Halloween. Have some fun. Be safe. Eat lots of candy. And we will see. Oh, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on this video. Let us know how you feel. Let us know what we could do for future podcast episodes as well if you have any suggestions. So, that said, we'll see you guys next time.
All right. See ya. Happy Halloween.
Yeah.